Hey everybody, this is Ms. Nora. I'm back with another video. I'm going to try to make this one quick. Today we are working on multiplying and dividing decimals by base 10. And when you see base 10 or when you hear base 10s, you might hear some people say it powers of 10. They're both the same concept. It's both the same math concept and both the same strategy, okay? So we're multiplying and dividing decimals by base 10 or powers of 10. Let's get started. All right, if you remember before, if you saw one of the other videos, and my videos are here to help everybody, not just my students. So everybody who needs help, if the videos help, that's great. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and you can subscribe. Hopefully some of my other videos will help, and if you all need some extra help, you can text me on the comment section, and I'll see if I can help. I have students from other states who have texted me on these comments, so that's pretty cool, okay? All right, let's get started. We want to know, all right, I want you all to remember, when you multiply numbers, all right, does your answer usually get smaller than the number you multiplied, or does your answer usually get larger than you multiplied? Think about it for a second. So let me give you an example. If I multiply 9 times 2, will this particular answer, will it be larger than the numbers I started with, or will it be smaller than the numbers I started with? What is 9 times 2? Okay, 18. Very good. So is 18 larger than 9 or 2? Yes, it is. So I want you to remember this concept. When you multiply numbers, okay, the answer should be larger. Answer should be larger than the original numbers, right? Now, what about dividing? What some of us may already know, when we divide numbers, it's the opposite of multiplying. This is the symbol for numbers. When you divide numbers, okay, should the answer get larger than what you originally started with, or should the answer get smaller? So let's try it and see. What if I have 8 divided by 2? Now, with this particular answer, okay, will that answer be larger than 8 or 2, or will the answer be smaller than 8 or 2? Okay, so what is 8 divided by 2? 4. Very good. 4 is smaller than 8. Okay, it doesn't have to be smaller than both, but it should be smaller at least than 1. Okay, 4 is very much smaller than 8. All right, so this is the concept that I want you to remember here. When you divide, the answer gets smaller. Okay, so this will take us into our base 10 or powers of 10, multiplying and dividing decimals. Okay, let's write out an example problem. All right, the first one, let's do 2.7 times 10. Okay, the first strategy, and like we've learned before, when we were multiplying whole numbers by our base 10 or powers of 10, we just counted our zeros and then added our zeros on. It's very similar. I want you to count how many zeros are in your base 10. Here we have 1 0 in our base 10, but instead of adding the 0 on to your primary number, we have to use a different strategy because we have a decimal involved. When there's a decimal involved, everything changes, okay? Same thing when you're dividing your decimals by whole numbers, okay? So first step here would be to count how many zeros. We have 1 0 in our base 10 number. That means that we get to move the decimal one place value. But the question is where? If I move the decimal this way, the number becomes 27. 27 is much larger than 2.7. Okay? Very good. If I move the decimal this way, the number becomes 0.27. Okay? So 0.27 is much smaller than 2.7. I want you to look at your math operation here. We are multiplying, so don't forget, when you multiply, numbers should get bigger, so that means that we move the decimal to where the number gets bigger. Our answer should be 27, okay? Let's try it one more time. I'm going to erase a little bit here so we have enough room. I want to try here. Let's try a different one, and I'll change colors, okay? Let's try 3.259. multiplied by 100. Okay, so first thing I want to do is look at how many zeros We want to count our zeros in our base 10 number. 1, 2. There's 2 zeros there. So that means I'm going to move our decimal 2 spaces. But which way am I moving the decimal? This way to where the number gets bigger, or are we moving our decimal this way to where the number gets smaller? Think about it for a second. Okay, I hope you said to where the number gets bigger because we're multiplying, and when you multiply numbers, the answer should get larger, okay, than what you originally started with. So we have 2 zeros in our base 10. We're going to move our decimal 1, 2 spaces to the right. I'll grab a yellow. 1, 2, very good. You replace the decimal there, and you can rewrite it at the end. I don't have any room at the end of this problem, so I'll rewrite it underneath. Our new answer is 325.9. Okay, very good for us. Now, that was 2 examples for multiplication. I want to do a little bit or work a little bit with us on dividing decimals, okay, by base 10 or powers of 10. Okay. So let's grab another pen here. All right, when we're dividing decimals, it's the exact opposite. So I'm going to take the same 2.7 that we worked with before, and I want to divide that by 10, okay? Same strategy in the beginning. You count how many zeros on your base 10. Here, there's 1 0 in my base 10 or in our base 10 number, okay? So that means I move the decimal 1 space. But instead of moving the decimal here, where the number would go to 27, okay, or change to 27, that's bigger than 2.7 because we are dividing, okay? I have to move the decimal to where the number should get smaller. When you divide, numbers get smaller. When you multiply, numbers get bigger, okay? So since we have 1 0 in our base 10, we're going to move our decimal to the left where the number gets smaller. And so our new answer will be, replace the decimal 0.27, all right? So 2.7 divided by 10 equals 0.27. And if it feels a little tricky, let's do another one, okay? Let's try 3.756 divided by 100, okay? First things first, always count how many zeros are in the base 10 number, right? If Ms. Dorm's going too fast, pause the video, rewatch it as many times as you need to. The video is here to help, all right? 2 zeros in our base 10, which means we move our decimal 2 spaces. But the question is, which way are we moving the decimal? Are we going to the left, or are we going to move our decimal to the right? Okay? Clue that tells you left or right would be the division symbol or the multiplication. Here we're dividing, so the number should get smaller. Okay? We're going to move our decimal 2 spaces to the left. Let me grab a yellow. All right, if I take this decimal, 1, 2, replace the decimal, okay? Now I have an empty space here. What do you think we do with this empty space? I hope you said add a 0. Very good. We add a 0 to the empty space, and this is our complete answer. And Ms. Dorn will rewrite it, decimal 0.3756. Very good. All right, let's go to a new page. I want to do a few that may get a little tricky or may get a little challenging. I know you all can pick this up, but just in case, we always need to practice, all right? Let's try 0. Let's do decimal 0.75, okay? I want to do times 1,000. I don't want you all to get thrown off because you see a 0 in your decimal number. Don't worry about that. It holds the place value. We can use that too. First thing you should do is what? Right, I hope you said count your zeros. Very good. How many zeros are in your base 10 or your powers of 10 number? 1, 2, 3, which means we have to move our decimal 1, 2, 3 spaces or 1, 2, 3 the other way. Which way are we going to move our decimal, left or right? Are we moving the decimal this way? Or are we going to move our decimal this way? Do you remember your clue? Here tells you which way to move that decimal. Since it's multiplication and the number should get bigger than what you originally started, you have to move to the right, all right? So here we're going to move 3 spaces to the right. 1, 2, 3. Replace the decimal, and you can rewrite your answer. I don't have any room at the end. I'll write here. 0.75 decimal. Or some of my students know that now this 0 is kaput. It's finished. It's useless. we can just put 75 here, okay? Or if we were talking about money, it would be 75.00, okay? Very good job. Let's take the same problem and divide. The same problem and divide. I'm going to take the decimal 0.75 and not multiply, but divide. Okay, and then we're going to divide it by the same 1,000. Okay, I can put a comma there if I wanted to, but I don't want to get anybody confused with commas since we're working with decimals. Okay, now first things first, what do? Count how many zeros. Very good. 1, 2, 3. Very good. I feel like my students are becoming experts at it. Kari, Jalen, everybody, good job. All right, since there's 3 zeros in our base 10 number, it means that we're going to move our decimal 3 spaces. But I don't know if I'm moving this way or if we're going to move this way. It all depends on what math operation we're doing. If we're multiplying, you know we move this way, where the number would get bigger than the original number. If we're dividing, you know we move the decimal this way, where the number gets smaller than the original number, okay? So here, 1, 2, 3, which means I'm going to move our decimal 1, 2, 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, Miss Thorne, that looks weird. Yeah, because we're dividing, it looks weird. The number has to get smaller. What do you think you do with the empty spaces? Fill them in with zeros. Good. So our new answer here, very weird looking answer, but it's the true answer, decimal 0.00075. Now, if you all don't believe this strategy really works, use your calculator and you'll get the same exact answer, okay? Ms. Durham knows how to make math really easy peasy, lemon squeezy, okay? If you need my help, contact me and let me know. If you know somebody who needs help, send them the video link. That may help out. Bye, everybody.